So, good morning. Can you hear me? No? Good morning. Can you hear me now? Yes. So, welcome to this session on big data. I think it's going to be a very interesting session of key problem in smart cities, how we can extract information from data, how we can visualize this information and show to the users, to companies, to citizens, etc. This is, I think, is the key point in smart cities, and the promise is that thanks to this information, we can build more efficient cities, more efficient transport, recycling systems, etc. The session today, we have 6 speakers, coming, 2 of them coming from China, others coming from Europe, others coming from a multinational like IBM, and they will discuss on different aspects on data in cities. Our first speaker is Qianxiang Xu, Vice President of the DaLian Jiucheng Survey Mapping Enterprise Group, and he will discuss on the mapping and 3D, how to show geographical data in cities, how to extract information from that. Then we have another presentation by Zhaohua Guo from CATC 54 in China, and he will discuss a location-based system for smart tourism that has been deployed in different tourist spots in China. Then Marc Moreno is the director of the Big Data Center of Excellence in Barcelona. It's a private-public partnership experience center that has been created recently, and he will explain what is their strategy, what are their goals, and how they can see their role in the future of data in cities. Then Anja Jutraz will explain also a very interesting system using virtual reality, immersive techniques, so citizens can understand better what are the plans in the city, and they can participate taking decisions. And then Alexey Ershov from IBM, he will explain different experiences of the company on the field of smart cities. And finally, Ramón Ferri from the municipality of Valencia, that he will explain the strategy of Valencia as a smart city. Okay, so we can start with the first speaker. The organization will be the following. We have the 6 presentations of around 10 minutes. Then we'll open a question period for all speakers, okay? So please, Michael.
Good morning. I'm Michael Xu. I'm from Jiucheng. Oh, sorry. My company is focusing on spatial data collection, processing, and applications, and also smart city construction and operation. We also cooperated with some Chinese local governments to construct smart city by PPP model, public-private partnership model. In China, there are about sorry.
Yes, no, but with the.
In China, there are about 700 smart city pilot programs launched by different national ministries. These pilots include provinces, cities, towns, villages, and most of them started at the beginning of 2013. Nowadays, there are many ways to collect data by mobiles, internet, investigation, and different systems. In smart city, we have to combine them together, not to establish some independent systems, but to create not to create information silos, but to provide total information of a city. For example, it should be avoided that a land parcel is recognized as agricultural land by land department, but as wasteland by the planning department. This caused confusion, and it really happened in some cities in China. Hence, we need to keep different data by some keys to constitute a comprehensive expression of the city. We may have some choices to record and connect these data by allocating a unique ID number, by written record voices, and so on. But can any of them act as a platform to combine other information? I don't think so. If so, the internet must be a best example of a smart city. Precision of the geoinformation system can. 80% of information is directly related with precision. For example, a smart city expo is held at the Barcelona Fire Congress. I'm standing in the meeting room 4, and where you sit all have a unique position. These positions can be precisely displayed by longitude and latitude. In 3D, we also can separate between different heights. We live on Earth. All information can be related with position. When you move, the position is changed. And moreover, a geoinformation system can provide a more direct and clear way for expression. Now, maps are not only based on abstract signals, that's point lines and parcels, but also can be based on satellite images, aerial photos, and even 3D models. The resolution of the commercial satellite images can reach 30 centimeters. It's the World View 3 satellite of the United States. And also by aeroplane, it can reach 5 centimeters. Or you can use drone, it can reach 2 centimeters. I saw many exhibitors have map-based applications for transportation, emergency, environment, governance, and so on. So different information are organized by layers in geoinformation system. Different layers overlap to constitute the whole city. This is structured information. When you click on the position on the map, for example, the location of a camera, the video pop up and you can see the video. And what's wiser? Along with the development of the technology such as photogrammetry and image matching, photo-based 3D model can be automatically parallel processed by a computer almost without any intervention of human. This technology is mainly oblique photogrammetry. The camera has 3 to 5 lenses, and when to catch a picture of the nadir and the others capture the side texture, the camera is equipped on aeroplane or drone. Highly overlapped photos, about 80%, are collected, and then this data can be automatically processed by software. You can find many cities have 3D models on Google Map and Here Map, and also including Barcelona 3D map. So 3D photo-based maps can act as a platform to integrate other information. Firstly, the spatial resolution is very high. It can reach 2 centimeters by zone. And secondly, it can be automatically processed so that on average, it's about 3 square kilometers by normally used computer. So if you want it to be faster, you can use more computer. If you use 10 computers, you can process 30 square kilometers per day. And thirdly, it is a 3D spatial system. And it is just like what we live in a 3D physical city. In the following, I will introduce a project launched by my company. This is a project located in Shako district in DaLian, in the northeast of China. This location is about 50 square kilometers, and it has a coastline of 8 kilometers. The population is about 0.6 million. And the whole project includes mainly 3 parts: data parts, software, and hardware. Okay, this is the whole structure of the project, and it includes infrastructure, internet infrastructure, data, and some applications. We have many data results, including the original 5 centimeter airborne images, digital line graph, digital elevation model, DOM and 3D model, and about 0.3 million infrastructure locations and 40,000 addresses. This is a system, mainly the 3D GIS system, data management system, and other systems. All other not spatial-based existing systems are connected to this system. And this is some examples of the applications. You can search different information from systems, such as the population and a company, and the infrastructure, such as the light pole, traffic infrastructure, and so on. Now more and more applications are connected and based on this system. And by this system, different data, mainly from the government, are located in this system, so that this is a kind of big data of the government, and some more applications are based on this system. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zhaohua Guo. You can call me George. Today, I'm going to present you Huhu, which is internet and sensor network combined product. As you can see, our slogan is engaging stories with moving sceneries. There are totally 4 parts in my presentation, and the questions in marketing and technologies are analyzed respectively. Now I will give you the first part. What Huhu focus? You know, I'm personally am a national certified tourist guide. In my point of view, the problems in Chinese scenic spots reside in 2 aspects. They are tourist and management. And there are 3 points, as you can see. These 3 pinpoints are becoming a burden for the scenic spots further development. And if Huhu is lucky, all these 3 problems solved, there will be a huge potential market. In order to make myself clear, I will give you a vivid example. This is a terracotta warrior, renowned as the 8th wonder of the world. But when I went there in 2014 and 2013, the local guide told me no one wants to visit there for the second time. Why? That is because all the portrait figurines are almost the same, as you can see, without detailed introduction or background information. No one likes it. It cannot inspire the tourists, especially for the young generation. And as a result, all the terracotta warriors have been imitated like this. Interesting, huh? But in fact, there are over 200 country leaders who have visited there. And a former Secretary of United States, Kissinger, he visited for 5 times. Obviously, there's something lying among there, right? What is that? The feelings, the experience, whatever they have, are totally different for each tourist. And to solve this problem is what Huhu can do. To give tourists what they really need in the right place, right time, by suitable means. As I have mentioned above, there is a huge market. By the end of 2014, and by the statistics released by the Chinese government, there are over 1,400 high-level scenic spots. And each of them is going to have 3 to 5 million RMB investment for the construction of smart tourism. It's a huge market. But in my point of view, only Wi-Fi or e-kit or video surveillance is not enough. There should be more and more cultural element. Now I will introduce Huhu solutions. The schematic of Huhu is composed of 3 parts. The first part, sensor network. The second, application. The third, data. The sensor network means the BLE devices that is widely deployed into all the spots. They collect data such as temperature, humidity, and they transmitting signals for purpose of positioning. For application part, which is I'm capable of, is mainly about software. And for data part, in fact, Huhu has combined time, location, and individuals into a 5-dimensional data space. This will make Huhu stronger. And as you can see from this chart, by January this year, version 1.0 of Huhu is released. And these are the pictures taken from site, Xibaipu Museum. And in July, version 1.5 is released. This is taken from Chengdu Modern Art Museum. And I'm going to tell you, by the end of this year, we will release 2.0 in Huaqing Palace, Xi'an City. But more emphasis has been put on the game part, which means Huhu is becoming an online and offline game. As I have mentioned, it has to attract more attention from the young generation. Indoors positioning, as you know, Huhu is based on BLE technologies. It is very easy to be applied in the scenarios like scenic spots, offices, shopping malls, airports. And in order to guarantee the accuracy of positioning, we have to face several challenges. These 3 charts shows that the signals of BLE does not change linearly according to distance. Also, the distribution is not normal. And we have 3 categories of algorithm, as I have listed here. So in order to make our method working, it is called fingerprint. We have 2 stages. The first stage, there are 3 steps. First, collect the values of RSSI, relative strength of signals indicator, and IDs. You will have this. In the second step, we generate vectors. In the third, we use the vectors to establish the fingerprint database. After these 3 steps, you will have this. Each red point is a reference point. Well, the second stage is online stage. The first and the second step are almost the same with the offline stage. But in the third, we just select the 3 reference points, the red point, and they are selected because they are most similar. It is measured in Euclidean distance. The profits of who, before we do anything, we have to know what is going to be. So there are 5 factors concerning the income and the outcome of Huhu. There are commercials, OTAs, online ticket agency, scenic spot, UGC or PGC, user-generated content or professional-generated content, and the tourist. For each factors, we collect advertisement fees from the commercials, and we help OTA to grab a bunch of offline clients, and we collect the service fees from scenic spots because we recommend the SaaS mode. We do not collect the construction fees. It is at Shuli's price. UGC help us to make our content more interesting. And the users, tourists, it is supposed to be people aged from 18 to 35. They are always with busy schedule or tight budget. The competitors. Before we begin the development, we have compared and analyzed the potential rivals. Here, as you can see, I'm not sure whether you know this product. The first one is Qunar, the second one is C-Trip, the third one is Touch China, and donkeys. So the functions provided by this product is not similar to what I'm going to do. For now, there is no versatile product that can solve the problems within the last kilometers in the scenic spots. That is what Huhu gonna do. And we have divided the tour into 5 stages. We aim at the 3rd stage, in the tour. And in the next 3 years, we are going to cover 40% of this market. This market will cover the population for billions and will bring the profit about tens of millions in euro. Thank you, and I hope Huhu will become pioneer in smart tourism. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Very good. There we go. So I'm Marc Torrent. I lead public-private partnership that we launched the initial of this year in Barcelona. We call it the Big Data Center of Excellence. I'm not going to talk about technology. I'm going to talk about 3 challenges and a couple of facts or feelings that we have about how is it right now and the potential and what are we doing. So these are a few surveys that I use usually in my presentations to say, but that things that you already know, that you are here because you're interested. Big data, it's a revolution. The data culture, we are at the starting of it, but we all have very high hopes. The amount of data that we are creating increases exponentially, like 8 zettabytes right now, and 35 expected in 5 years. Double figures increasing the market size, impact in all sectors of activity, obviously also in the public administration. In some, this was done in e-commerce, and they were saying companies doing a high intense use of data and sophisticated algorithms, they can go up to 8% of productivity. And this is one of my favorite ones that I'm not going to explain in detail, but basically it says if you use advanced analytics and interactive BI interfaces, you are more likely to be in a growing company than not. So, okay, so this is great. So, and how come only some leading cities or regions are investing on it, or some leading companies. It's because we have the feeling that this is what happens right now. Okay, that's very nice. So the numbers are incredible, but people is confused even in large and leading cities and regions. I can tell you that not all departments understand what can they really do with data, and basically we say, so what and how, which people should I involve in this initiative, and how much it will cost me, and really how much can I take back from it, and with whom should I do that? Because yeah, there's some leading companies around, but most of my typical providers are not providing me that stuff. Okay, so this translates in the three main challenges that we see. The first one is that organizations, department don't see the exact value of these technologies and techniques. Second one is the access to the data sets. First, they are not, we were in the auditorium, and I think they were said that only 20% of the data that's being produced is actually used. So people don't know which data is out there that they can enrich their own one, and they don't know which data they have, or they don't have enough quality data. So the investment on putting this data on work, it's high. And the third one is the skills. The skills of not only of the providers, the capacities of my typical providers, the price out there, but my own people to be able to define a strategy and implement it, okay? And that's why we created the Center of Excellence at the beginning of the year. This is, it's led by Eurecat, which is the Catalan Technology Center, around 450 professionals doing R&D and I projects. City Council, the government of Catalonia, and Oracle as a multinational who has a competence center in the city. And then, and more important, we went and collaborate with a bunch of SMEs and other organizations that are doing a very good job in here. So we see technological SMEs at our organizations like the Supercomputing Center of Barcelona and some of the universities. Which are our main goals? What we want is to break these entry barriers, define what it's possible with this, go together, and then prototype innovative solutions that can be attraction of more investment, of more talent, of more cross initiative. On the way, we want to train and the supply and demand with the new data culture, and at the end, we want to create a strong reference ecosystem in the local environment. How do we? What we offer? We say so. We are a neutral agent, so we are led by a technology center, which is it's a private foundation. So we have a state-of-the-art big data knowledge. We have also, as I shown you, like a good set of partners that have a very good expertise in different economic areas and technologies. We have, and this is very important, fast prototyping technology, because we have to concrete the value very quick and validate it. Then we want to be a facilitator, an integrator of valuable data sets, of the ones that can bring value to the different projects and companies. And at the end, we have this as a mantra in our DNA. We want to bring and do knowledge transfer in every activity, not only about the technology, but also about the techniques and about how it's managed, because the actual users are the ones who have to define and identify where can be applied and the strategy that best fits to their companies and organizations. So we have three main lines of activities. The first one is doing projects. This is the best way to concrete things and to put people and organizations to work and to work together. Then we give support so we don't lead courses or university studies, but we give our support and we put demand and supply together for education and training. And at the end, and very important, we disseminate a lot and do a ecosystem building, as I will show you in a couple of minutes. But so we do a big data congress for the local audience. Here we bring some international speakers, but we focus on the local audience, that they know each other and they can talk at each other and they know which are the trends and the possibilities of the technologies. And then we do also sectorial workshops. Good. And that's the second one I want to do. Do you know how many big data related activities are around? So I didn't count them, but it's a lot of them. And that's what I was saying, like the ecosystem building. So we placed ourselves here in the middle, not because all of them think we are more important, but basically what we see in every city or region is a bunch of public administrations that they can be users, and they promote courses and hackathons and datatons, and they promote different initiatives. We have congresses, all of them related to, obviously, to big data. These are the cases of Barcelona, obviously. We have universities. We counted in, and we sat with all the directors of these postgraduate and master studies. There's more than 30 big data related studies at the moment in Catalonia. There's as many community-based activities. Spark meetups, we have the BC Analytics, but we have a bunch of individuals that are very interested in the subject. They want to get some education, they want to work on that, they want to get in context. Then we have obviously user companies, 10 companies, and other organizations like incubators, startup accelerators, some other initiative like ours with a different focus. This is the example of Bioinformatics Barcelona that have like more than 50 entities that want to promote the bioinformatics subject in the country. What do is we talk to all of them. We try to look for synergies. We try to put them, identify each other's values and put them in contact. And just for my only minute, there's just a couple of examples of a project that we are almost finishing, another one that we are starting, just an example of the things that we are doing. So tourism management, we are talking to the GSMA, the Mobile World Capital, the City Council, some telecom operators, the Wi-Fi operators, putting all this data to the harbor, knowing how many cruisers come, in order to manage better the city. We also have the complaints of the citizens about the tourism. And this one that we are almost finishing, we started, we are finishing it. We studied the road accidents in the Barcelona metropolitan area, taking the people from the territory, the department of the government of the Catalonia, the traffic department, RAC, it's a local ADSC or IAAA in the US. So it's putting all the pieces together and try to do innovative projects. Not much I can tell because we didn't publish, only if you are driving and see a garbage collector or a cleaning vehicle, watch out. They are among the most dangerous vehicles driving around the city. Okay, so that's it for me. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Just a second. Okay. Just a second. How to go to the full screen? Oh, I cannot go. Oh, okay. 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 At the end. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for this beginning. It's a pleasure to be here. This talk was prepared in collaboration between the industry company on one side and university researcher on another side. My name is Anja. I'm from Faculty of Architecture, University of Ljubljana, and I did my PhD in the topic of combination of immersion, urban planning, citizen engagement. I'm sorry that my co-author Julie is not here. She's presenting the company 3D ICC, which works on the immersive environments, so virtual worlds for collaboration, communication, long-distance collaboration. To start with this sentence, I would like to address the main topic of my talk. These are the people, the users, the citizens, so the ones for whom we are designing the urban place, the ones who are using the public spaces. And when the last sentence involve me and I will understand, I would like to stress out that it's important to involve citizens into the design planning process. To start with, we all know that urban planning is a complex process, going from the planning stages to the construction stages, managing stages, and there are many, many other stages in between. We are facing different there are different compounding factors, and we need to achieve different critical requirements, so from budget, schedule, safety. Moreover, there are different stakeholders involved at different stages, and technology is not always applied on all the stages from the beginning to the end as we would like to see it. We divided all the people who are involved in the urban planning in 3 main groups. So first, the government, where we don't talk only about the politicians, but also about the ones who are serving the city, so firemen, policemen, transport department, city management. Secondly, we have AEC professions. Here are the architecture and construction companies, and also the building companies, supporting companies, owners, investors. And the third group, public, this is actually this missing voice we are in the urban planning process, so the citizens, so people who live there, who work there, who talk about it. We have many tools, architectural tools and construction tools, but the tools for coordination, communication between all these participants are still missing. And if we are not using them in a proper way, there can be this non-proper using of tools could be extremely costly, not only financially, but also we have here safety issues, corporate reputation issues, citizen anger, because citizens are the ones for whom we are designing the space, and they're paying also the taxes, and we want them to be satisfied at the end of the day. Our focus was how to bring virtual reality to the table of urban planning. So could virtual reality be used as the collaboration media for all these 3 different groups of people? We needed to provide first the access, so from anywhere, home, smartphones, physical mobile centers. Then we created virtual locations, so for BIM teams, for virtual town halls, current and future 3D models of the locations. And at the end, we believe that all 3 groups could have some benefits. So, and definitely with this global collaboration, we could save millions of money. So this is the possible reality that we are proposing. On one side we have this physical world. On another side, it's a virtual world. You can enter virtual world from 3 different places. So one is mobile visitor centers, and the second is physical urban construction visitor centers. They already exist, so you can have their touch tables, and you can also enter the virtual world from there. The third one, you can enter it from the offices, from home, from libraries. And the best thing is that at the end, from different distributed physical locations, you come to one virtual room. So virtual world, we actually divided in 4 main rooms. One is citizen access room, where you enter actually the virtual reality. Here are all informations about the city, about all construction projects, planning projects. You can give opinion there also. You meet professionals there. So it's like a collaboration platform between government, public, and profession. The second one is Beam Room. This is more for professionals. They meet there and they work on their project. The third one, that's that row in between, are 3D models and walk. So you can walk through actually 3D models of existing situation, different proposals, or so future of your neighborhood. And you can experience it even before it is built. The fourth one, maybe the most interesting for the politicians, mayors, is the virtual citizen town hall. So where mayor can meet citizens, thousands of them. So for example, he can have a talk like here in the room, but at the same time, also thousands of other people can listen to him virtually. Why we are combining this? Because we believe that sometimes users, citizens don't have always time to attend physical meetings, and I believe that it's good to combine traditional and more advanced digital tools. Just to show you, there has already been done some research about construction. They already use virtual big beam rooms, also walked through the architectural models. PBL Lab at Stanford is working with this immersive environment, immersive turf, for over 8 years. And if you're more interested in these case studies and these examples that have already been done, you can ask me after this talk. I will not go here into the details. Also for the urban planning, we already did some research, some case study, where I actually did it for my PhD, created 3 different proposals of urban design for some neighborhood in Slovenia. And then I was asking citizens and professionals for their opinion about the site, and through the collaboration, instant collaboration, we came to some solutions at the end. Why now? Because computers are more powerful, we have internet connection all around, we have immersive world, so it could be used also for the urban planning. I will show you at the end also the video, but yeah, I went quickly through the slides. We would like to see, if you have any idea, please contact me. We want to do now the pilot project, so to work with the cities, with the real life projects, also in this urban planning stage. More about the product, turf, immersive turf, you can see here on this website, 3dicc.com. So can I have also the video? I just need some text. Oh, here, yeah. So here you can see this is the beam room, where you can post different projects, the site analysis, videos. You can meet with other professionals, also with the owners, stakeholders. You can have schedules on the wall, and the nice thing is that also the 3D models, and through these doors you can enter 3D models of the site. The nice thing is that the things stay there, so it's like a time capsule. So you can go back into your process, what you were thinking on that meeting with the professionals. So, and here is the example of walkthrough one neighborhood. So one proposal of renovation. You can add different informations, and it could be also linked to other programs, other technologies. So this is more like a collaboration platform which can be combined with all the other existing tools. And these 3D models could be imported directly from SketchUp or Revit. So mostly from the programs that professionals are using. So it's not additional work for professionals. So the 3D models that you already have, you can just import here. So thank you very much.
Good morning. I live in Madrid, so I know that morning, so afternoon in Spain doesn't start at noon, it starts after lunch around 3 or 4, however is convenient. So let me start with a few examples. We're talking about data visualization. So for the cities we created, and it should be an app for everything now. So we created an app for city mayors. So suppose I'm a city mayor, I'm looking at my city, different areas of the city, from emergency transportation, water management. I can look at each of these areas, look at availability of bikes at the stations, look at the map for each of the bike stations, see what's the availability is. I can look at my traffic information, I can look at my water system, looking at network efficiency, sensors, service requests, can look at crime information. So starting from the high level, where 1 means good, 10 means I need to pay attention to that, I have all this information at my fingertips. So I can look at services requests by the city. I can look at social media analytics, what people saying on Twitter and Facebook by area. I can look at the sentiment analysis, how it changes over the last few days, about police, events, tourism, transportation, so forth. It's all at my fingertips. Now suppose I'm sitting having a dinner and something happens, so I get an alert, emergency, major fire at St. Roche Clinic, a red plan evacuation launched, some local authorities are working on it. I can immediately take a look at where it happened on the map, right from my restaurant, from the dinner. And since city is a system of systems, I immediately get an alert that something is about to happen in my transportation system because of this fire in this region. So I take a look at the map. It shows that now traffic congestion is predicted to be much worse than it used to be before. So I'm looking at traffic prediction 15, 30, 60 minutes from now. I start seeing that there will be problems in the area where the fire is. My bus arrival time, maximum delay increases substantially. So it's time to call my head of my transportation management. Transportation department. So it's all available. All the technology has been available for years. Now we put it on the app, and there is an app for the mayors for that. Next, I want to talk about Madrid, the city where I currently live, which uses analytics and big data to cut costs and support outcome-based maintenance contracts. So every city mayor I meet around the world thinks that they pay too much for the city services and they don't get enough control over the quality. So Madrid decided to do something about it. So instead of paying for activities to their city services suppliers, suppliers which clean the streets, take out garbage, take care of parks, benches and so forth, they now implemented long-term contracts with strict KPIs and SLAs written in these contracts, and now they pay to the service providers for quality rather than activities. They project to have 6% reduction in cost of physical city services, as well as 10 to 20% in IT costs. So citizens can have an app to report problems. City employee inspectors conduct 1,500 daily inspections, taking 300 KPIs. And at the end of the month, City Hall pays according to the KPIs and SLAs in the contract. And all of that is done through secure tablet with secure application. It's all auditable, enforceable, and managed to provide data. And City then provides data to the city service suppliers so that they can optimize their own operations. Next example is from Indonesia. City of Bandung, which is the capital of West Java province, city population about 2.5 million. Mayor Ridwan Kamil was elected in 2013. He's an architect by training, very passionate about making Bandung a smarter city. He's avid user of social media, has 1.2 million Twitter followers. And at first when he was elected, he just said, just report to me problems around the city on Twitter. And he got quickly overwhelmed. Then he called IBM, said, could you help me build something more serious around it? And we helped him build a command center, which started as a traffic and incident management center, and then we kept adding other functionality to that, from social media analytics to managing city services. Now I want to switch to cognitive computing. What we have seen so far, it's exciting, but it's somewhat of an old technology now. Now watch this space. Cognitive will be taking over this space. Yeah. You might still remember that back in 1997, that was a big deal. Right? IBM Deep Blue made history by defeating Garry Kasparov in chess. Then our researchers were bored again, so we needed to give them another grand challenge, grand problem. So in 2011, IBM Watson system made history by defeating 2 all-time best players in Jeopardy. Jeopardy is an American quiz show where questions are asked in a natural language, so computers have to understand and learn. And these 2 people, Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter, are not just average humans, they're superhumans. So Ken Jennings won the most games and Brad Rutter won the most money. So they're superhumans, they're outstanding. So let me show the last minute of this show. It was played over 2 days, and until the very last moment, if you watch it, it wasn't clear that Watson is going to win. It was pretty clear that Watson is in the same league, but it wasn't clear. It was like in Hollywood movies. It wasn't clear that Watson is going to win. Can we get a sound, please? Can we get sound?
That was the moment when I knew it's over.
Our 3 players have made their wagers. The category is 19th century novelists, and here is the clue. William Wilkinson's An Account of the Principalities of Wallachia and Moldavia inspired this author's most famous novel. You came up with what? Who is Bram Stoker? You are correct. Over to Ken Jennings now, and we find who is Stoker. I, for one, welcome our new computer overlord. Now we come to Watson. Who is Bram Stoker? And the wager? Hello, 17,973, and a 2-day total of 77,147.
So that was in 2011. Since then, we have been developing Watson. So the Watson that won this show in 2011 is now in the top left corner. It's just one API. Since then, we have built 28 more, and by end of 2016, we're supposed to build to about 50 APIs. So we're betting our company on that. So this is a big deal. Let me show what happened since then.
Hello, Ken Jennings.
Can we get sound again, please?
I've seen you since that TV quiz show. Hello,
Sound.
You can see now?
I can recognize.
And can you leave the sound until the end, please?
Hello, Ken Jennings. I haven't seen you since that TV quiz show.
Hello, Watson. You can see now?
I can recognize people, analyze images, and watch movies.
Well, I wrote a few books. I did a speaking tour.
I've been helping people plan for retirement, and I help doctors identify cancer treatments.
Is that all?
I've recently learned Japanese.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic.
I haven't learned sarcasm yet.
I can help with that.
So we now applied Watson to different fields, from oncology to cooking. You can buy a cookbook with Chef Watson on Amazon for $20. And I like this quote from Kevin Kelly, who is founding executive editor of Wired magazine. He said, it's a very good article about artificial intelligence. He said, in fact, the business plans of next 10,000 startups are easy to forecast. Take something and add artificial intelligence. And it's a big deal, and now it's already here. Let me end with one thought, though, that however good machines become, some things we should still leave to humans.
Bob Dylan, to improve my language skills, I've read all your lyrics.
You've read all of my lyrics.
I can read 800 million pages per second.
That's fast.
My analysis shows your major themes are that time passes, and love fades.
That sounds about right.
I have never known love.
Maybe we should write a song together.
I can sing.
You can sing?
Doobie bop a doo. Doobie doobie doo. Do. Doobie doo.
Thank you.
Morning to everyone. Thank you very much. Just to try to start, I'm going to give you, I'm Ramón Ferri, I'm the CEO of Valencia City Hall. So my presentation is going to give you what we are doing in Valencia concerning using tools for big data, data analysis, and visualization for decision making. Smart cities and data. We live in a smart city, an hyper-connected society. There is an increasing urbanization. All cities have the same challenges in environment, in social, in economics challenges. And we have to maintain, and all the cities want to maintain and increase the quality of life. So both citizens and decision makers wants to have the right assessment of city situation based on correct data. And from the city point of view, what we want from data is the key information, in our case, the indicators, that data is able to assist them in their decision process, both citizen and our politics or our civil servants. In this context, we have an abundance of data source that we can mine applying data analytics techniques in order to generate new service for citizens and in order to be able to make a better planning for the city. Well, data is a key for smart cities. Many services they know what they want, but they don't know that they are working with data. So what we are trying is that focus on the data is key to build new generation of service. That's just to try to get all the data from the different data sources, digital citizens, Internet of Things devices, and information systems, to obtain all this data and to try to manage this data value change in order to perform intelligence, to perform analytics, and to give the citizen with new services. For example, in our case, with our APP of our city, and to provide more values to the citizen, and of course, to obtain efficiency in our processes. How we have done in Valencia? So we made a public tender 2 years ago. We made a city strategy for a smart city 3 years ago. So we have now a smart city platform principally for data management. We have this long-term smart city strategy approach, and then the core of this approach is based in this project, this smart city platform. And then you can see here more or less the levels of this smart city platform. We will be able to connect to integrate different sensors and different information systems. We have a data broker for perform the semantic of the city, the context of the city. We have big data tools and analytic tools in order to obtain dashboard for public servants and politics, KPIs for our public tenders, and open data for citizens and so on. So what we have now is we have accomplished to have an open technology into the city-owned strategy. We have a transversal and synergic approach that is flexible because we can introduce all service in the city. We have an evolution from the vertical independent solutions to a common integrated solution, and this permits us to have an holistic global view of the city and services in a single solution. Well, this is the platform architecture. what we call, we come from the data source and we obtain the city insights. We have different data sources, real-time information system, different information systems in the city, and device sensor. We have a data normalization level using ETL tools, in this case Talent, using ESB, Enterprise Service Bus, in order to integrate all the systems of the city using JBoss. And we have EOT agents using the standard fireware in order to integrate all the different M2M sensors. Then we have a data brokering, also based on this context broker from fireware. Then we have a data storage using ADFS cluster. And then we are using libraries from Python in order to have the statistical and numerical analysis and the Hadoop for big data analysis. And at the end, we are using the data visualization using the MicroStrategy. Well, different use cases for big data in Valencia. Using public lighting, environmental sensor, and density analytics, we can improve our public lighting. Using weather management, environmental sensors, and energy management, we are able to have an efficient weather management also. Having the information from tourism and public transport and density analytics, we can offer a better service for our tourism. And of course, having the smart meters for water and smart electricity, smart meters and city census, we can understand the consuming behavior of the city. Just to give you an example of how the decision-making, the planning of the city, for example, in mobility, has changed using this tool. Before using data management, we had people making street surveys. In mobility, we have people having counters, manual counters, in order to see how the vehicles were flowing in the city. We had a municipal census there. We can study what happened. And then we can see also activity measurements through our cameras. So with this information base, the planning of the mobility of the city leads to a not accurate model behavior. So what we have now is obtaining information, for example, for mobile signaling, and for all the cameras and for all the information of the system, of the city, we take all this information, we filter it, and then we take all this information and obtain value data analysis tool for the planners of the city and for the city servants of the city. So now we have more than 500,000 people flowing in the city. We can see especially for where they are. So then we obtain a real and accurate mobility data model. In this case, for example, we have used all the information for mobility from our telecommunication operator. This information has been anonymized, factorized, and aggregated in order to have all this information from the city. And then we are able to see how people, global behavior trends, analysis, and study. So then we have a power tool for planners, a power tool for city servant, in order to have quantify and characterize the mobility of the city, to permit to perform a better planning for road traffic control, and of course for public transport services. Well, this tool also gives us an internal dashboard, so all the information of the city is there. From areas of the city, we are working with more than 1,000 indicators. That is no data, it's indicators. It's service management indicators, are citizens indicators and city indicators. We are, for example, working with the indicators of the ISO, of the sustainability of the cities. And then planners are able to see what's happened with indicators they want. They can see these indicators in the map, in the case we have the information for a map, and then they can perform planning and, of course, operating of the systems. And at the end, we have all the information also in an open government portal. So in this open government portal, this is built on an open solution, CCAN. It has a lot of APIs for users, and then all the information, we have more than 300 sets of public data, and then all the data that we have there is federated automatically to a national and European level. So the citizen is able to perform its own dashboard of the city, and no more. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much for the presentations. And so we have 10 minutes for questions. So please, if anybody has a question, go to the mic, introduce yourself, ask the question to our presenters. Okay, I have a question that I like to put to all of you, okay? So I think that all of us, and I think most people in this room probably, is convinced that big data will be very important for cities to make more efficient transport. I mean, it will be very, very important. But the question is, how can we convince the citizens, the ones who are going to pay for that the big data is going to be relevant for them? And maybe some people is scared about the Big Brother thing. So what do you think will be your arguments if I'm working in a municipality and I want to convince the citizens that they're going to pay for that all these big data techniques are going to be relevant for them, for the daily life, etc. So.
Okay, my name is George, and just questions is what I plan to introduce. Can you hear me? This is what I plan to introduce in the slides, but it's only 10 minutes, so I cut it off. Well, in my point of view, all this smart city or smart tourist something, it has to be financially self-sufficient. You can not only depend on the government investment. Take Huhu as an example, right? And we have factors concerning the income and the outcome. So let's do very simple multiples. If we have 40% of the 1,400 scenic spots covered, and for each spot, we took 100,000 RMB annually, which is divided by 7 in euro. It is very low price, but we offer high quality of service. Is acceptable to the scenic spots, while on the other hand, the tourists, which are users to Huhus, for ordinary users or normal users, it's totally free. But we have different users. Take VIP as an example. We may collect the fees from the VIPs, and the service will be of more and more higher quality. That is what I'm going to say. Thank you.
Okay. So, I mean, you posted many questions in this only one, right? And I think that they should be taken separately, some of them, because if not, it's too complex as a fact. But so the main 2 points, it's privacy and data security. And this comes in every discussion or debate or session, right? And there's a point there, and usually goes on, is law careful enough? And I think right now in Europe, I was talking to some experts, people by law, by how their data it's being treated, and if this data stays in Europe, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, okay? That's the first point. But and now they are talking about, okay, where should all this data go? And if we had a couple of weeks ago, if the US is a trustable or safe environment where to put personal data, right? And there's one thing that is low, but most important thing here is that let the law advance, let the data be in places that are called safe, but then let's let's educate people on what are they giving, because that's the problem, that's the risk. I mean, we are just at the beginning of all these apps and making use of your data. So we don't know which are the total risks. I mean, people use Facebook more than before, so they have a more open profile than before, but we don't know where it's going to go. But nevertheless, you have to start at schools, at colleges, and to the normal people, telling them that their data is being used, and that's one important part. And the second one is that how you convince them is, I think many people does not realize that they are already using many of these services. They use Google, they use Waze, they use local apps that do recommendations, and you have to tell them really, and then and like not only the citizens but the organizations, what is the actual value that this brings into their real lives.
Yeah, I would like to answer this question also from different perspective, because I'm an architect working quite a lot with the public, and to convince citizens into something, you should show them the consequences. So what's the reason using something, or what's the reason to use big data, what can they gain? So like the urban space, if we have different proposals, if we show them just one solution, they will never agree with it. But if you show them what their decisions could bring at the end, so the consequences, then they start thinking about it. And I think we can find the parallels with big data and urban planning and decision making. Yeah, so to show them what's the value at the end.
Well, from a generic point of view, I think that with big data, we can introduce the strategic management in all the areas of the city, and this can give us the opportunity to perform KPIs, to see what's happened with indicators we want to perform. So I think that this is a cheaper and a more optimal way to manage all the areas of the city. And concretely, if you are able, using big data solutions, in order to, for example, reduce 20% of the time where people go from one place to another, or for example, you reduce, in the case of Valencia, this is true, 30% of the time when a fire or security incident happen in the city until you arrive there, 30% of the time less. I don't know if you have murders and so on, this is not paid, So it's really important.
In my point of view, I think a first step is to collect enough data, big data of city, and then you should introduce your citizens to use the data, not to think about how to let your citizens to pay for the big data. I think that for citizens, you should open the data to them and do not let them pay for them, but that we should think about how to let the business, let companies to pay for the big data. Okay.
Thank you. So I'd like to discuss two topics there. First, financial returns, and second, privacy and security. So financial returns, in all the projects we work with, usually the business case is very clear, so no question about it. If you have inefficient water system, you put in data and analytics, its investment is minuscule compared to the money you save. Same with energy networks, same with, I made the example of Madrid city operations. If you save 6% on physical services, it will pay for any IT implementation you can think of. So that is usually very clear. Now to the question of security and privacy, and I think these are two separate issues. First, data security should be absolute. Data should be collected, transmitted, stored, absolutely secure, and well, we have a lot of tools and big business around that. Privacy, there is always a trade-off. So whenever I'm using Google Maps on my phone, I'm transmitting my information to Google. If I want to use this service, this is what I'm implicitly agreeing to. So there is always trade-off between privacy and convenience. So that is a personal choice of each person.
Okay, so thank you. So thank all the speakers today. We can close the session. Okay.